Now it's almost like some brands have a little bit of an out to focus a little less on first party data, maybe for at least for a few months while things sort themselves out a little bit more. Does this start creating this like bigger and bigger gap between the data leaders and data laggards? You know, what's AI's kind of part in the mix here?
Okay, great question. Let's first address the gap between data leaders and data laggards. And I hinted at the beginning, but my belief is data laggards on the first party data often fill in that gap with cheap third party data. So the fact that that's going away would imply that the gap would simply widen until those laggards can reach kind of that best in class level that the leaders have on first party data. The second half of your question, I think, is around, well, how does AI affect this? You know, and in a number of ways, there are a lot of cases, like you mentioned, we're a deep learning company. We've been doing this for 10 years before deep learning was hot. It's the underlying neural network technology that powers things like ChatGPT and generative AI in general, like Midjourney and DALL-E. And it's powerful because it doesn't have a lot of the constraints that traditional machine learning approaches has. One of those is it's much easier to handle missing data, incomplete data, data that's coming in asynchronously at random times in random ways, because a neural network works like your brain. Nobody summarizes everything you saw the last 30 minutes and presents that to you in a data table. Your brain figures it out. It's continuously receiving that visual information, processing it, storing it, filtering it, determining what to hang on to and for how long, and frankly, dismissing the vast majority of it. And that's exactly how deep learning works. And of course, we apply it to make marketing work better, but you could use it in a lot of different ways. And so it's an opportunity to better use first-party data, especially if you're best in class. Even if you were using some third-party data, you might find that, hey, with AI tools, the third-party data doesn't add incremental value. I can dump it. I can dump those relationships. I can dump that cost. I'd rather put that into a data science and data engineering practice in-house, assuming you're large enough, that can really benefit my whole business.